Hi there, my name's Philip Nathan. I'm author of the Living Humanism Guides and presenter and author of this video series. It's good to have you here. In these videos, as in the Living Humanism books which underpin these videos, I aim to take you through what I see as some fundamentals of humanist personal conduct and living a humanist life. These fundamentals are based on two core principles. The first core principle says that we should act to support the well-being of ourselves and all others. And the second core principle states that we should act to reduce pain and suffering for ourselves and all others. I'll provide justification for these principles in video 2. Suffice to say that these principles are seen as of overriding importance within the Living Humanism framework for helping us decide how we live our lives, how we act and conduct ourselves day to day. Indeed, I see these as crucial to us in our living a rewarding, happy and fulfilling life. These two core principles are, of course, broad core principles and beg many questions. Beyond the issue of their initial justification, in particular key to our living a humanist life, are questions about how, if we accept these principles, how we can put these core principles into action. And so in this series of videos, once having discussed the core principles, I'll also be aiming to show how, through a range of further subsidiary principles, we can put these core principles into practice effectively, with the hopeful consequence of helping us provide ourselves and all others with the best of lives we can have. To give a taster for the other videos in this series, I'll now give some examples of the subsidiary principles that are put forward in the Living Humanism Guides and in these videos. So these subsidiary principles include using rationality, reason, and evidence to decide our actions, acting with integrity and honesty, pursuing fairness and justice, taking responsibility for ourselves, our families, and our wider communities, giving love and care for others, while also focusing on our own fulfillment, pleasures, joy, and happiness. And that's the latter because a positive human life does require us, humanist life does require us as individuals to enjoy well-being, to feel happy and fulfilled, as well as supporting others to enjoy well-being as far as we can. Another subsidiary principle, actively and proactively pursuing cooperation with others, working together with others, and pursuing and seeking the material resources that are necessary for our well-being without being greedy. So material things are seen here as enhancing our lives. Our seeking adventure, our being open-minded, avoiding aggressive violence, being kind through our actions and words, opposing conformity and being tolerant as far as is reasonable, being generous, kind and helpful, and supporting democratic values, openness, inclusion and transparency in our decision-making. And there are many others of these subsidiary principles. A full list can be found in the Living Humanism Guides. I doubt these could be comprehensive, and you'll likely have ideas for important principles for guiding our lives as well. But as I say, there's some examples to give you a taste of what's in the guide and what these videos are about. One or two final points for the moment. Of course, I'm putting forward these ideas of living humanism to you, but the ideas I put forward must be open, of course, to analysis, discussion, debate, actually, to research too. And that kind of discussion, indeed critique, is actually a fundamental part of living humanism and must be part of our humanist living and personal conduct. This kind of critique is, as I say, part of the living of a humanist life, as put forward in the guide and videos. So for anyone just to accept these ideas without their own personal responses and reactions, thoughts, interpretations and critique would be directly contrary to the ideas put forward in the videos and the guide. Moreover, I have to say it would be outlandish and ridiculous, and at best highly unlikely to my mind for myself as one individual to be able to, as a single individual, produce a complete, perfect and effective list of all such relevant principles. I hope personally to be making a contribution. We work best cooperating and working together. We're social in our human character, and all of our contributions are needed if we are to find for ourselves the best answers to the questions we ask. even if our own individual contributions may sometimes be small or indeed rejected by many. So importantly, stemming from this point about critique, rather than setting up a list of rigid rules, the Living Humanism books and these videos comprise a guide and aim to provide a contribution to support your thinking and action, and must be open to your comments and criticisms. And indeed, the ideas put forward must be capable of modification and change. Crucially, the principles put forward here therefore represent guidance, a framework for humanist living and humanist personal conduct. If you have positive comments about or have ideas to build on this framework, it would be good to hear them. Please put them in the comments and chats below the video. If you have suggestions or wish to express criticisms, please also write them in the chat below the video. It would be good to hear these too. I'll aim, in the light of your comments, where I have the capacity, where appropriate, to add to or will change the video content, and perhaps at some point where necessary, I may modify the book guides. I'll also aim to include, where appropriate, plausible ideas or entirely different ideas with which I might not agree, particularly when these fall within the parameters of the core principles mentioned. Of course, this is undoubtedly the same as all of us, have to consider that the things I say and the things that I've written may be fundamentally wrong. I will respond to all comments if I can. So thanks for listening to this video. We can now move on to the second video, which presents, discusses, and aims to justify the two core principles. See you soon.